example of people living outdoors. Data scientists crunch all that information, add in people staying in shelters, and come up with a total number. A lot rides on the results. For example, federal funding for affordable housing. In 2019, homelessness had increased 12% in LA County from the year before, up to about 59,000 people. This year's results are scheduled to come out in late May or early June. For NPR News, I'm Anna Scott in Los Angeles.
The Trump administration is out with new visa rules for expectant mothers from outside the United States. Applicants will be denied tourist visas if they are determined by consular offices to be traveling to the U.S. primarily to give birth. The rule is designed to restrict a practice known as birth tourism, in which women travel to the U.S. to give birth so their children can have a coveted U.S. passport. The regulations raise questions about how officers would determine whether a woman is pregnant. I'm Louise Scavone, NPR News, Washington.
Support for Alaska Public Media comes from Perkins Coie, addressing the legal needs of innovative companies and industry leaders in Alaska and throughout the world. Perkins Coie, counsel to great companies. And from Gagnon Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery, celebrating 3 years of serving the plastic and reconstructive surgical needs for patients of the Mat-Su and beyond. More at GAGNONplasticsurgery.com. And from members like you, thank you. As Alaskans, it's important to support the community by donating to nonprofits, and it's easy to donate when you apply for your permanent fund dividend by remembering to pick, click, and give. Your donations can help feed Alaska's children, house the homeless, provide shelters with funding to find a forever home for animals, and keep books on library shelves. Alaska nonprofits rely on you to help make the difference. This message sponsored by Pick, Click, Give. Support for NPR comes from this station and from Procter & Gamble, maker of Metamucil, a fiber supplement containing psyllium, a plant-based fiber for trapping and removing waste in the digestive system. Designed to be taken every day. More at metamucil.com/2-week challenge. And from iDrive, providing cloud backup, full system backup, and on-site iDrive appliance to protect PCs, Macs, and servers from data loss due to crashes and ransomware. At iDrive.com/NPR.
This is Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm David Green in Culver City, California.
And I'm Noel King in Washington, D.C. Good morning. Officials in Beijing are canceling some major public events that are intended to mark the Lunar New Year. They're trying to stop the spread of the deadly coronavirus outbreak. Here's the latest on the virus. It's now reached Singapore with a case confirmed there this morning. The outbreak started in the city of Wuhan in central China. Authorities there say they are in a state of war to keep it from spreading. They've stopped all public transportation within the city, and they've canceled flights and trains that are leaving the city. 11 million people live in Wuhan, so this might seem extreme, but more than 600 people are now infected and 17 have died. NPR's Beijing correspondent Emily Fang has been following all of this closely. I talked to her earlier this morning. Good morning, Emily.
Hi, Noel.
So 11 million people in Wuhan. That, as you pointed out, is bigger than New York by like 3 million. How does this quarantine work?
By cutting off the transport lines one by one. So this morning, there were lines at the airport because they started canceling outbound flights starting at 10 a.m. Soldiers marched up to the train station in Wuhan. They were wearing face masks. They stood in front of the doors to prevent passengers without tickets from entering and leaving the city. And then that then funneled everyone to the highways. People could get out by car in the early morning, but now they're stealing off the highways as well. And we've just received reports that 3 smaller cities in the same province that Wuhan is in have also shut down their train stations or airports. So now they're shutting off transportation and the surrounding area of Wuhan as well. NPR talked to a number of people in Wuhan today. One of them gave his surname as Wang, and he says this sudden, much more aggressive approach to this public health crisis has really raised public anxiety.
Back then, people weren't taking things seriously at all. They still gathered to play cards or go to clubs. But gradually, as more cases were announced, you could feel the public beginning to care.
The suspension of public transport, though, means that fresh produce food is also now more scarce in Wuhan, and Wang says prices are twice what they normally are.
Local residents did not know some produce markets were going to close, but because it's almost the new year, they have to buy something for their family to eat.
And And as you mentioned, it's the holidays, so life goes on. I talked to another person in Wuhan. His name is Jan Robert Go. He's a Filipino doctoral student from Wuhan Central China Normal University, and this is what he had to say.
The attitude now is to cheer each other, that we can overcome this particular challenge and Wuhan will be better, at least from the conversations I'm seeing among my Chinese friends.
But authorities are actually a little more grim. The commission of Wuhan's top health and government officials said that they needed to, quote, man the battle stations and take wartime methods to avert disaster. But just quarantining Hubei province in Wuhan, it's not clear how effective that will be because there are cases in other cities.
Okay, including some of China's biggest cities. Do authorities there yet know why this disease is spreading so quickly?
It's because humans can pass it to humans. Before, they thought animals could only pass it to humans, so it's spreading more quickly than expected. That's led to another problem, which is there just aren't enough doctors to screen all the suspected cases in Wuhan right now.
During the SARS outbreak some years back, China was really criticized for not being as transparent as it might have been. So with this new strain of coronavirus, it does bring up a really, really relevant question, which is, have the authorities learned a lesson? Are they being more open and more transparent now?
To some extent, they have. They pledged this week to report every case publicly as it comes in, confirmed, but online there are still a number of accusations that would be taken down from relatives who say their relatives died from pneumonia-like illness and were not listed officially as a virus victim. But Xi Jinping has come out, China's leader. He called on padres personally to put public health first, implying that covering up these coronavirus cases for political expediency this time around is going to be a big no-no. But of course, there's a lot of public suspicion. Last year, there was African swine flu, which authorities delayed reporting the severity of. And of course, the SARS outbreak of 2003, so distress runs really deep.
Okay, NPR's Emily Fang in Beijing. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.
The federal government is considering tightening restrictions for certain animals in airline cabins during flights. NPR's Merritt Kennedy reports the proposed changes would mean that emotional support animals lose special privileges.
If you've been on a plane recently, you might have noticed that there seem to be a lot more animals in the cabin. And according to the Department of Transportation, there are also a lot more complaints about them from passengers. Taylor Garland, a spokesperson for the Association of Flight Attendants, says the union's members have seen an exponential increase in emotional support animals in the last 5 years. The union believes people who don't actually need their animal for emotional support to travel sometimes abuse the system.
And what it's caused is a number of safety, health, and security issues on board our aircraft, which have led to minor things like animals loose in the cabin to very serious safety issues where untrained animals have attacked flight attendants or other passengers or other legitimate service dogs.
So the union representing flight attendants is applauding the changes. Here's what the Department of Transportation is actually proposing. It would treat service animals helping people with psychiatric disorders. Here's Jennifer Mathis from the Bazelon Center for Mental Health Law.
Service animals should be treated the same, whatever type of disability you have. That's good.
But she finds other aspects of the proposal troubling. She thinks
penalty. A Kenai business, Commercial Auto, agreed to close its injection well and pay a $17,000 penalty. The EPA reached the consent agreements in September. The time is 7:43, and this is Alaska Public Media.
We'll have all the latest on the impeachment trial, and we'll check in on what Georgia is doing to change its voting systems. That's next time on Here and Now.
Now you can listen to Morning Edition whenever you want. It's available weekdays between 7 and 3. Just say, Alexa, play Morning Edition. Morning Edition on your schedule from NPR News.
Good morning, I'm David Green. Super Bowl Sunday is coming up, and so is that other tradition, the sleepy Monday after the game when millions of Americans yawn through work or play hooky. 16-year-old Frankie Ruggieri has a solution. He started this petition to move Super Bowls to Saturday. Frankie says more people will watch if it's not a school night. He's gotten over 13,000 signatures. I like the effort, but Sunday Fun Day, let's not mess with it. It's Morning Edition.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Heather Sturt Haga and Paul G. Haga, supporting African Wildlife Foundation, working to ensure the future of Africa's wildlife and wildlands. Learn more at awf.org. From the Candida Fund, supporting individual dignity and sustainable communities through investments in transformative leaders and ideas. Learn more at KENDEDA.fund.org. And from Americans for the Arts.
So today we're talking about investing. It's my life. And that's Laurel Rankert, and it is kind of her life. She's a financial advisor, and she joins us today on the Alaska Economic Report. I'm Abby Collins, and today we're breaking down the basics of investing. But first, oil prices. In the last week, the price of West Texas Intermediate went from $58.20 per barrel to $58.26 per barrel. That's up 6 cents per barrel. Alaska North Slope crude went from $66.43 per barrel to $66.21 per barrel. That's up 22 cents. That is the sound of the New York Stock Exchange's bell. Its ring signals the open and close of trading for the day. It's kind of iconic, but you don't need to be glued to the markets to get started investing. Laurel Rankert is a financial advisor with Waddell & Reed in Anchorage. She says you don't even have to have a huge amount of money to get started.
So if you're investing in the stock market, just very generically, you could hope that if the stock market does well, that your money will also grow. And there's also the bond market, which is completely a different thing. Stocks are investing directly in companies, and bonds are directly invested in companies, but in a different sense. You're really lending them money as opposed to giving it to them.
So somebody comes to you with zero experience in investing and they don't really know where to look. How do you start people off? How do you help them find the right places for their money?
The best word I think to describe the first step is just to be diversified, meaning don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe don't start with an individual stock, but look to a mutual fund that has a lot of different companies in it, so that if one of them isn't doing well, or even 5 of them aren't doing well, you've got 100 other companies that are going to pull their weight, and you should see growth in the long run.
Can you talk a little bit more about what a mutual fund is?
If you're playing baseball in the front yard with your dad and you throw the ball at the big picture window in the living room and it cracks, that whole window is going to shatter. But if you throw the baseball at a window with a dozen different window panes, wherever that baseball hits, only a few of them might crack. And the comparison comparison to then an individual stock, that would be the whole big picture window. But a mutual fund is going to have a lot of different panes in the window. So again, they're not all going to fail at once, knock on wood.
Is there an amount too small to invest?
I think assuming your everyday needs are met and you've got a little left over at the end of every month, let's say it's $100, that is by no means too small an amount to start investing, because we all have to start somewhere.
Often we are presented the opportunity to pay into retirement funds through our employer. What do you look for when deciding whether that's worth it?
So at the very least, I recommend that if you do have a company match in your plan at work, let's say it's 3%, if you can put in 3% of your salary, then you'll be able to get that match. And that's a very good starting point for a young person that might not be earning a huge amount of money at the time, but when it's based on a percentage, it's all relative. So it should feel okay to do that amount. The only thing I'll add is that I think it's important to gather information from your peers and other people that you respect, that you look up to, for ideas, and ask them how they got started investing and get their opinion on things. And if you know that they're a trustworthy, smart, successful person, then hopefully they made wise investment choices as well, and that's a really good starting point, because you'll get extremely different opinions. I imagine if you ask 5 different people, you'll get 5 different answers. And one of the things that I've learned in my career is most clients I work with were encouraged by an older coworker at some point to start investing, usually through the work retirement plan. And if they hadn't had that encouragement, they might not have, the savings they have today. So help each other out.
Laurel Rankert is a financial advisor with Waddell & Reed. She joins us once in a while to answer questions about personal finance. If you have a question, something you want us to explore, email acollins@alaskapublic.org. In Anchorage,